This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Hate charges. A man accused of shouting racially offensive language in a Halifax Costco has been charged. Fire ready. Nova Scotia rolls out mobile trailers to bring live training directly to local firefighters. And from the Minas Basin ferry to a small town stage, the Kipawo celebrates 100 years of history and legacy.
Hey, it's weekend time and a beautiful weekend shaping up. Lots of sunshine, comfortable temperatures. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. We begin with an update on a story we brought you earlier this week. Police have now arrested and laid charges against a man for a hate-motivated incident at a Halifax Costco last week.
We're killing every one of you.
37-year-old Randall Byron Publicover was arrested Wednesday afternoon at a residence in Port Dufferin. Police say during the arrest, Publicover brandished a weapon and officers had to deploy a taser. On July 4th, Publicover was recorded on video shouting racist insults, uttering death threats at a Muslim family, and assaulting a customer at the Chain Lake Drive Costco. He now faces a number of charges, including public incitement of hatred, assault, uttering threats to cause bodily harm or death, and resisting a peace officer. Halifax Regional Police are thanking the public who came forward to help identify the suspect. The Serious Incident Response Team is investigating after the man who was the subject of an emergency alert in Nova Scotia Wednesday night was shot and killed by police. Police sent out the alert Wednesday warning about an armed man on the loose in Lunenburg County. RCMP then responded to a report of a person with a weapon on Highway 210. They identified him as the subject of the emergency alert. An officer fired their gun, striking the suspect. First aid was administered, but the male was pronounced dead at the scene. New firefighter training is rolling out across Nova Scotia, bringing programs directly to members for the first time. 2 new mobile training devices will soon come online, allowing people to practice firefighting hands-on. Haley Ryan reports.
Firefighters in Nova Scotia will no longer have to travel long distances to train in live fire units like this. The province has spent more than $2 million on 2 custom trailers called mobile burn units and propane props, which simulate common emergencies like car and dumpster fires. The Cape Breton Regional Fire Service has a 3rd trailer for training and say firefighters are impressed with the setup.
They didn't realize the amount of smoke and heat that we can generate and how realistic it is for them.
One new trailer is in Sydney now, while the other should arrive by the end of the month. The province has also paid for dozens of new instructors to bring training programs to local departments, saving members travel time and money.
So bringing fire training to them instead of a centralized location is certainly what they have asked for, and that's what we'll be able to deliver.
The province has faced a gap in live fire training since cutting ties with the Nova Scotia Firefighter School in Waverley last summer, following an audit that revealed safety and policy gaps. The Fire Service Association says they do not think this has led to safety issues because any member not fully trained would never go inside a burning building.
It's more of the backlog or not having enough people to go interior at the time of need.
A provincial bill passed this spring aims to improve fire services over the next 3 years and set training standards for the first time.
I always see it as a firefighter in Cape Breton should be the same as a firefighter in Liverpool. We should be trained the same. We should have the same qualifications. We should have all the same things.
While the mobile fire units are a first step, long-term plans include setting up permanent regional training hubs. Chief Van de Sand says he hopes their future Antigonish Area Fire and Rescue Training Centre could be one of those hubs and support firefighters in their region and beyond.
When you're having your worst day, you want the best of the best coming.
Work on appointing a new fire commissioner and creating the minimum training standards is underway. Haley Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.
Meanwhile, the burn unit at the QE2 hospital has 4 new dedicated beds thanks to a significant donation from a firefighters organization. The Nova Scotia Firefighters Burn Treatment Society spent more than a year fundraising to buy 4 monitoring machines. The machines allow patients to be moved out of intensive care sooner and receive specialized care in the burn ward. A spokesperson for the burn unit says the donation is also freeing up much-needed intensive care beds. Well, it'll be at least 2 more years before the provincial government makes a decision about the future of the A. Murray McKay Bridge. A call for proposals was launched Friday to assess logistics and the cost of refurbishing or replacing the aging bridge, dig a tunnel, or some other way to connect Halifax and Dartmouth. The Public Works Minister says the business case produced will build on previous studies that have already considered future options for the span.
This is about due diligence to make sure that we have the appropriate narrows crossing for the future. So it's about taking all of the information that was previously gathered by Halifax Harbour Bridges, compiling all that together, looking at providing a detailed business case on costing of each option, risks, responsibilities, and impacts of each option.
Tilley says the current bridge is safe and that the plan remains to have whatever option is selected ready by 2040. Firefighters and police in northern Nova Scotia were faced with an unusual situation this week. Had to retrieve a Honda Civic that had been parked near a river outside Tatamagouche, but somehow rolled into the water, drifted along, and then sank. Abella Purdy was paddleboarding Wednesday evening when she saw her car roll into the water. The local fire chief used his own kayak to paddle to the submerged car. He managed to drop a strong magnet on it, and that was tied to a rope and a buoy. With the location marked, a recreational diver who was also a firefighter arrived on the scene and managed to secure a line to a tow truck, and then that pulled the vehicle ashore.
We just went paddleboarding. We probably went for like a good hour. And then we looked back and you could see my car slowly like going in the water, and we were panicking. And yeah, and it floated a little bit down the river, and then it sunk. Like the trunk went like this.
No one was injured in the incident. Purdy says the car was towed to a mechanic, but it's likely headed to the junkyard. After a kind of so-so Friday, it sounds like the weekend is looking up.
Yeah, getting the wet weather out of the way, the much-needed wet weather. We needed a good shot of rain. For most of us today, saw at least a solid soaking for the grass, and we are looking at high temperatures today that were in the low to mid-20s. It's kind of a similar story for Saturday. Low to mid-20 temperatures, a little bit warmer than it was today, a lot less humid for Saturday. Some isolated shower chances for the eastern half of the mainland and into Cape Breton, but isolated in nature indeed. They'll be few and far between. If they do sail through your backyard, they won't last long. And as we look at the forecast for Sunday, it's another beautiful day, another isolated shower chance, primarily across Cape Breton, even there, 30% or less. Across the mainland, temperatures back into the mid-20s, and we are looking at, once again, the humidity staying low. And so, yeah, all in all, a great looking weekend. We'll look at the fog patches in the mix both days to start on this weekend, but overall looking pretty quiet. And then as we look ahead into Monday, we're talking about a system that's going to be approaching from the northwest. That'll bring some showers in as early as Monday evening. Your full 7-day forecast is coming up in a few minutes, Amy.
All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, a century ago, a unique ferry connected communities across the Minas Basin, sparking stories of romance, trade, and history. Though its days on the water are long over, the vessel's legacy lives on. Luke Ettinger reports.
The Kipawo was named after the first 2 letters in each of its ports of call, Kingsport, Parsbro, and Wolfville.
A century ago, this ferry set sail in the Minas Basin. The hour-long trips ran when the dramatic tides allowed. Parsbro historian Jeff Orr says the vessel was part of a historic route.
When you can look very closely across the bay and imagine the people that would be over there or know of the people, that people began to travel for romance. It was also a central trade route long before it was a passenger or a car ferry.
But the federal government commandeered the Kipawo for the Second World War effort. The ferry arrived back in Parsbro in 1984, showing its age.
It was very quickly determined that she wasn't even going to float in a bathtub. She was very rusty. She was kind of falling apart. So they wanted to fix her up in some way to make her a museum. They were going to raise money by doing a play on her deck to raise money to fix her up so that she would become some sort of interpretive center. But then the theater really took hold with the community, and then she became a theater company. And that's really cool. And so kind of connecting people in whole new ways.
From bow to stern, the Kipawo sits at the ship's company theater. Volunteers gave her a fresh coat of paint for the centennial celebrations on Saturday.
We're going to be celebrating the KIP's 100th birthday in collaboration with Randall House Museum in Wolfville. And we're going to have a big cake, and the sea shanty choir, the local sea shanty choir, is going to be singing, and we'll do some speeches about the KIP.
Today, the drive from Parsbro to the valley takes almost 3 hours, but the service has left a lasting impression.
I have an early picture of my father who traveled on this vessel. He was actually born, as I mentioned, in Kingsport, and he and his family would have traveled on this vessel.
Orr says the feds originally promised to bring back the service, but that never happened. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Parsbro.
Well, anyone who lives near the Bay of Fundy knows the daily struggle of the world's highest tides. If you miscalculate the water's retreat, your boat is suddenly stranded in the muddy shore. But one boat builder, Harry Bryan, has designed a characteristically clever maritime solution. Have a look at this.
Most everyone knows that we claim this to be the highest tides in the world here. Well, it would be convenient for boaters if it was always high tide. That's not the way it goes. It's a challenging place to keep a small boat because of the access to the shore. It's much more difficult than it would be in other areas. The Ladybug came about because of our tides here. We have had heavier dinghies. The usual dinghy weighs 125, 150 pounds. It's 10, 12 feet long. It's a long carry down to low water here. And I had seen a small boat called the Farmer's Daughter, which was set up like a wheelbarrow. It always seemed to me like its wheel was so skinny that it wouldn't do well for the softer mud and sand environments we have here. So I've put together as light and small a boat as I thought was practical, and a wide enough, fat enough wheel to keep itself up on soft sand. And it made a huge difference to our boating here. Whereas we used to have to wait for the tide to reach our boat. Now we take the boat and go for the tide. I think if anything, it's to see if we can do something in a simpler way and something that involves our brains and our hands, which seems like that's the opposite of where technology is going today. The satisfaction of creating something and the sounds of hand tools, or the lack of sound, if you will, of hand tools, and the idea that if I could make a living such as it was, using hand tools, or largely hand tools, that not only it would perhaps be unique nowadays, but it would be a direction which I think is a good thing for us all to think about. I think it is a testament to some things can work out when you can't plan them all out. You just hold your nose and jump off. Hopefully this little boat here will open up the possibility for people for tending their own boats or just having a small boat that they can putt around and enjoy themselves.
A little bit of traffic on Halifax Harbor. Ryan is up next with full weather forecast. Do stay with us. And Ryan is back with his full weather forecast, and it sounds like we've got the perfect ingredients for an excellent July weekend.
We do. We
like
do. It's nice when everything kind of lines up together and things are looking great. We are looking at sunshine, mild temperatures, the low humidity. Yeah, there's an isolated shower chance, but whoever does see the shower won't see it for long. It's going to be
good for the lawns
sailing
and
through.
the flowers in the gardens.
That's very true. That's very true. Speaking of showers, it was an active day today. Certainly scattered showers, thunderstorms, and I had a tough time picking out which webcam time lapse I was going to show today. But Lunenburg is pretty good, as you can see with the time lapse here. Excuse me. We had not a bad start.
No.
Bit of blue sky, some color in the sky this morning, and then you can see things get a little on the gloomy side with, traffic picking up there as well locally, and there's the rain that came through. A few rumbles of thunder in through Lunenburg County. And yeah, over the last couple of hours, things have been clearing out once again. The sun's been coming back out, and things are always busy, of course, in Lunenburg, but it's looking a little quiet this Friday evening. We're going to be on wheels this weekend, I would dare say. Thanks to Nova Scotia webcams for that. As we look at the current temperatures, rather, 23 in Lunenburg, it's 23 in Halifax, 16 in Ganesh Beach and Sydney, and 16 at Bacaro. Everybody else pretty much in the high teens and low 20s. And you can see the humidex value still hanging on. The dew point is still up there, but starting to fall, and it will continue to fall through tonight. As we look at those winds, they are, for the most part, coming in from the northwest as we move through tonight into tomorrow. And yeah, that is going to set the stage for that more pleasant air mass in place. As we can see here with the radar, last couple of showers clearing away from Sydney over the next little bit. And watching this line here, which has been developing across New Brunswick, that looks set to lose steam as it moves into Nova Scotia, as you will see with the hour by hour in just a second. A little ridge here that's going to be moving in and keeping things quiet for the weekend and into Monday. And then we've got some unsettled weather, a trough that's developing here over the mid-U.S. and Canada, and that is going to be sweeping in and keeping things a little unsettled for mid-next week. There are your temperatures across North America right now. 20 in Yellowknife, 42 in Phoenix, 17 in Goose Bay. Temperatures quite variable, and as we work our way through tonight, we're going to be seeing temperatures closer to home in the 13 to 15 range. Chance for some isolated showers here coming to an end over the next hour or two, as you will see this little line that's moving its way out of New Brunswick into Nova Scotia could bring an isolated shower through Colchester, Cumberland, and across that Northumberland shore late evening into the early overnight. Otherwise, smooth sailing, and we are looking at partly cloudy skies, some fog patches developing and then dissipating in the morning, and lots of sunshine for tomorrow. Looking at a beautiful day. Note here, and across through the Colchester, Cumberland area around Cobequid Bay. These are the areas where we could see some isolated development tomorrow, but they won't, as I said, they won't last long. Once we do see those showers moving in, they'll move out just as quickly. We are looking at the northerly winds tomorrow, predominantly a northerly wind, but it does look like it's not going to be strong enough to fight off the sea breeze, which will come in for places along that Atlantic coastline. So where those breezes clash is where we're looking at our best chance for a few pop-up showers tomorrow. So inland Cape Breton and actually along the Atlantic coastline, the eastern shore, where this northerly flow hits the sea breeze coming in, that's where we're most likely to see a few showers developing here, including into the Halifax area and up in and around the Cobequid Bay area as well. But again, stressing isolated showers as we work our way towards the west. Looking beautiful here, 24 Yarmouth tomorrow. And looking into Sunday, it's another beautiful day. Couple of pop-up isolated showers, can't rule it out. Actually, the best chance I think is going to be Cape Breton, but even there, 30% or less. Temperatures mid-20s, low to mid-20s across the mainland, and 18 to 22 across Cape Breton. And then those showers, as we mentioned, rolling in late Monday. Looks like it'll be even later than what that model's projecting. Muggy meter staying pretty pleasant right through that 7-day, bit of a spike there late Tuesday. That looks like a bit of an anomaly based on that model. You can see showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. So a little unsettled, Amy, but temperatures staying pretty comfy and some sunshine in the mix as well.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Coastal erosion is a threat to many properties here in the Maritimes, but the construction of a seawall to protect one residential property in New Brunswick is raising questions about regulations. The CBC's Erica Butler explains.
The construction of a new vertical seawall along the shoreline east of Parley Beach has neighbors calling for better regulations when it comes to the province's coastlines.
It all happened very quickly. We have full view of what was going on, and we started to see that it was going to go up very fast, and it is very concerning to see this happening here. We haven't had any sort of concrete walls up until now, and the regulations are not clear, and yeah, very worrying.
The new wall was built at the edge of an existing rocky slope, which is common in the area and used to protect the shore from erosion. CBC was unable to reach the property owner, but spoke to a developer who said no permits were required for the wall and declined further comment. When construction started here in mid-June, neighbors called on multiple levels of government to express their concerns, but quickly found out the seawall fits under no one's jurisdiction. The municipal planning agency, Plan 360, says it issued permits for construction of a new house on the property, but it does not issue permits for coastal protection structures. The Provincial Department of Environment created a coastal areas protection policy in 2002, but says that policy doesn't stand on its own and only comes into effect when another law is triggered. The Department of Natural Resources also says it doesn't have jurisdiction over the seawall. That's because, according to department surveyors, the wall is built above the ordinary high water mark on private land. The ordinary high water mark is the line where, on average, high tides reach the shore. Everything below the ordinary high water mark is publicly owned Crown land.
Now, from a common sense perspective, it's a little strange because the base of the wall there has been underwater for most of the day, and it's frequently underwater. So I think there's a little bit of a contradiction between what most of us see as something the ordinary or common high tide mark versus what's being defined.
Neighbors reached out to Minister of Natural Resources John Herron about the situation. He says the seawall project is allowed as far as his department is concerned, but it did raise eyebrows and has prompted him to seek advice about how policies protect beaches in the area.
I think they're treasures that we have for the province, and actually I think it's a defining feature for us as well. That's why all those questions that I think the folks who live in that communities are asking are more than just legitimate. And I think from a public policy perspective, we really have to challenge ourselves to make sure that we understand that we're getting it right.
The Department of Environment says it's reviewing the province's coastal protection policy and preparing a State of the Coast report. The public will be able to comment on it later this year.
I would really like to see a recognition of the importance of strong regulations and strong enforcement policies to preserve our coastal environments. This is allowed. I would like to see regulations that do not allow this. For example, one could say within 30 meters of the ordinary high water mark, no development. Preserve our environment. Something simple like that could go a long way. And then people could feel more confident that the coastal environment is going to be preserved.
Coming up, why you might see more white sharks off the coast of Nova Scotia this summer. Tourists aren't the only visitors coming to Nova Scotia this summer. White sharks are also swimming into our cooler waters, part of their massive seasonal migration. And for more on this, we're joined by Chris Fisher. He is the founder of the global research organization OSearch. So Chris, quite a few sharks have pinged off our coast in recent days. Tell me a bit about them and where specifically they've been visiting.
Well, we do have our sharks that have been arriving up there over the past several months. We have well over a dozen white sharks tagged right now. We did in collaboration with the Tancook Field Station there in Mahone Bay last summer and fall, where we tagged a bunch of white sharks up there, and they're all now returning for this summer. We have sharks strung out all the way from the Lunenburg, Mahone Bay area, around Nova Scotia and up into the Gulf of St. Lawrence, up by the Maggies. We have sharks that have made it as far north as that already this year. So, you know, the white sharks start arriving in late June and July. By the time you get to August, pretty much the majority of the population's arrived there that's going to be there for the summer. And then they'll be there putting the pressure on the seals, guarding the fish stocks, putting that pressure on the seals, preventing them from eating too many of our fish all the way through kind of November-ish before they start sliding back down south when things start to cool off.
And is it the food mainly drawing them or the drop in temperatures in the water?
Well, it's kind of a combination of both things. You know, these animals are the balance keepers or the apex predators of the temperate water. So they like that cool water, you know, in Fahrenheit, they like that 55 to 65 degree water. So when you get down south right now, it's getting way too warm below Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and all the tiger sharks are moving into there. They're the kind of apex predator of the tropical waters. So yeah, they love the water temperature, but they also love the predictable access to the marine mammal, to the seals. They want to put the pressure on the seals all summer and fall to bulk back up for the winter before they have to head south. Because when they're down there, they're primarily just eating fish. There's not a lot of opportunity for marine mammal unless they come across the odd dead whale. So they're really coming up there, put that pressure on the seals, bulk up for the oncoming winter, and a byproduct of that is they're guarding our fish.
Now, some of the sharks your team has tagged are massive already. I think I saw one was about 1,400 pounds. Is that the largest that you've seen so far?
Well, we've tagged over 100 sharks in the western North Atlantic and probably somewhere near 50 in Atlantic Canada now. And we've tagged animals up there well over 3,500 pounds and in that 17-foot range. So that's kind of the big mature female-sized animals that we see off of Atlantic Canada and the northeastern United States. So, you know, you got full-size mature animals up there. You know, what's interesting about them, when we didn't know this when we started the work years ago, the same animals return to the same seal haul-outs year over year, almost like a salmon going back to a river. They go back to the same spots every summer where they're feeding there on the seals and the fish and other things. And they have this site fidelity to return like that, which we didn't completely understand. I think, you know, we pioneered the research up there in Canada. We came up on our first expeditions. People told us we were crazy back in 2016 and 17 because white sharks weren't really a thing there. But we'd started to track some white sharks up there. And when we then subsequently followed with the ship, you know, we found many, many white sharks there. In fact, one of the most interesting things I think that's developing from our research coming out of the western North Atlantic right now is that Atlantic Canada is actually the central part of this white shark population, not the northeastern United States. We're seeing about 70% of our sharks using Atlantic Canada in the summer and fall, and only about 30% using the northeastern United States, which really kind of shifts how everyone has perceived this kind of western North Atlantic white shark population dynamics over the last, 20 or 30 years, just guessing at it. They really thought it was a lot about Cape Cod. It's really all about Atlantic Canada.
And now these sharks have a social media presence too. You've named them. Folks can watch them on your app and everything on your site. Do you have a favorite?
I do have a favorite. My favorite shark's not pinging in anymore. It was named Mary Lee after my mom. We tagged back in 2012, which was a big animal, a 17-foot, 4,000-pound mature animal, much like Nagumi and the sharks we've tagged up there in Atlantic Canada. Right now, some of the more interesting ones are, Breton, named after Cape Breton. He's still pinging in after 6 years. And then you have Contender, a mature male, our largest mature male that we've tracked, is a good one to track right now. He's busy on the tracker, and everyone can, people can win a trip to come out on expedition with us next year if they want to. If they go to osearch.org or just download the free app, and you can track all these sharks for free in real time, and your kids can watch videos and have educational curriculums and so forth. So download the app and get in the game. You can see where the sharks are in real time. In fact, now you can turn on notifications, and so if you want to be notified when sharks are pinging in real time, the app will ping your phone if you're hanging out at the beach and you want to have the latest information.
Before I let you go, for the beachgoers, how close are they getting to shore?
So, if you're at the beach and you're around seals, the white sharks are going to be coming in right to the beach. So this is a situation where we have this wonderful thing that's occurred here where over the last 30 years, we've really returned our oceans to abundance. We have many, many more fish now than we had 60 years ago off the eastern seaboard and the western seaboard of the United States, which includes Atlantic Canada improving as well. And so, when I was a kid in the 80s and the 90s, you could kind of just run down to the ocean and jump in whenever and wherever you want because we had wiped out the large sharks. And we had put a lot of pressure. We didn't have the fish populations we have now. And about 1990, we all realized we were in bad shape, and we started turning the corner with regulations and enforcement. And now, 30 years later, we're seeing booming results off of both our east and west coasts. And so there's a lot more life. And so what that means, when we go down to the beach, we can't just walk in blindly anytime. Like, you can't walk into the forest like that either. So you got to look at the water. Are the birds crashing on bait? Is there game fish rolling? Are the seals on that? If that's going down, there's going to be white sharks in there. That is their job, is to come in there and manage that, dynamic of that collision of the food chain. And so what we need to do is avoid putting ourselves in the middle of that. So look at the water. When it's nice and quiet, those are the areas where you want to swim. You see seals and birds diving and game fish moving around. You don't want to swim out in the middle of that, just like you wouldn't walk into the middle of the forest when a lion's putting a stalk on a herd of deer.
That's good information to have.
Yeah, you just got to be aware now. And this is a wonderful thing, because what it means is we know now we're going to be able to deliver an ocean full of fish to our kids. 30 years ago, when we started trying to bring it back, we were uncertain. So, with that return to abundance is the return of the sharks, the return of the game fish, the return of the whales, the seals, the turtles, and everything else, which means we need to be a little bit more aware of our environment, and rather than just blindly walking into the water.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Coming up, at least 12 people are dead and dozens missing after one of Spain's deadliest wildfires on record. And after more than a century without a name or grave, a Canadian soldier is finally laid to rest. Welcome back. A wildfire in southern Spain has turned deadly. It tore through an expatriate community, killing at least 12 people. Authorities say 23 people are still missing. Anna Cunningham reports.
This is a fast-moving wildfire. In one day, it's ripped through the dry forests and scrublands surrounding this district of Los Gallardos. Southern Spain is certainly no stranger to high summer temperatures, but with parts of Europe now in its third summer heat wave and temperatures exceeding 40 degrees in places, this fire has already claimed victims. 4 bodies were found in a car in the small village of Beda. The head of Andalusia's regional government has been briefing the media Friday. He said the victims were found in a right-hand drive car. This is an area known to be popular with British expatriates. The British Foreign Office says it is in contact with the Spanish authorities. Other victims of this wildfire are assumed to have tried to escape on foot. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez says he is deeply saddened and devastated. Hundreds of firefighters and Spanish military personnel are now on the ground and in the air trying to bring this under control. In recent years, summer wildfires in Spain have become increasingly common, but this is fast turning into one of its most deadly in the past few years. Spanish firefighters are well trained. They have experience tackling Canadian wildfires, working in Quebec during the wildfires of 2023. Last year, Spain saw wildfires destroy some 400,000 hectares of land. Those firefighting skills are now once again being put to the test on home ground, with difficult access to ravines and homes in forest areas, and concern too that any change in the wind direction could make controlling this wildfire more complex. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
A CBC News analysis has found that many Canadian senators are missing major votes on key legislation. Dozens of them are routinely absent, and some legislation passes with barely half of them casting a vote. This is raising questions about accountability in the upper chamber. The CBC's JP Tasker reports from Ottawa.
We crunched the numbers to find out just how often senators were casting votes in the upper house, and what we found is regular absenteeism. Dozens of senators are routinely missing big votes on some of the government's signature legislation. In some cases, only 50, 60 or 70 senators out of the 95 or so sitting members are weighing in on whether to pass bills. Bills like anti-hate crime legislation, the budget, spending measures, changes to immigration rules, tax cuts, you name it. In some instances, only a little more than half of all members of the Red Chamber are in the upper house for some consequential moments. In the 12 months following the last federal election, the Senate sat for just 76 days. Only 8 senators had a perfect attendance record over that period. The rest were away anywhere from 1 to 54 days out of the 76 for other public business, for time off, or because they were sick. And it's raising concerns among some of the Senate's leadership. The Conservative Senate leader, Leo Husakos, telling me in a statement, if attending the Senate for 3 days a week for roughly 26 weeks a year is viewed as too burdensome, then it raises legitimate questions about whether the Senate is the appropriate place for them. Senators are, of course, appointed. They don't face the electorate. After Justin Trudeau's reforms, virtually all of them sit as independents, or they're not tied to a party that must face the voters. They are essentially lone wolves, able to do what they want. There are no whips anymore to enforce attendance or count votes. Although I should note, attendance was a problem in the past. Before those Trudeau changes, it's been a problem for years. But what Prime Minister Mark Carney is doing is overhauling the appointments process, saying after 10 years of appointing mostly non-partisan senators, people with more political experience are what is needed.
You know, we look at the Senate as a whole and what the competencies are, and obviously familiarity with government, familiar with legislative processes, other things are helpful, but we want some core competencies in there as well, and where the Senate is more deficient and there's people who are willing to serve, I'm very pleased that they are.
Beyond overhauling the appointments process, I'm told some senators are also reviewing how to encourage participation when they return in the fall to a place that's supposed to be the chamber of sober second thought.
It's the CBC's JP Tasker in Ottawa. Well, the Canada Revenue Agency is continuing to struggle with response times, even though last fall the Carney government ordered the agency to hire more workers and improve its service. One Ontario man is still waiting for 2 years' worth of tax refunds. Philippe de Montenay reports.
Alex Pilon was stunned when he saw a $24,000 tax refund deposited into his bank account in March of last year. He hadn't even filed his tax return yet.
So it was clearly a mistake.
He contacted the Canada Revenue Agency and returned the full amount within days, but then his account was blocked. And now, a year and a half later, he still hasn't received his tax refunds, totaling $3,300.
I've been going back and forth with calling agents and being on hold for many hours. For, at the end, nothing.
He's just one of thousands of Canadians frustrated with the CRA. Last fall, Ottawa ordered the federal agency to reduce delays and improve its service. Despite hiring 2,500 employees in its call centers, the union representing CRA workers says it didn't clear the backlog.
Our members are feeling the pressure. They're short-staffed, especially in the taxation centers when they're processing the taxpayers' files, and there are delays.
In the past year, Canada's taxpayers watchdog reported a 27% spike in complaints received by the CRA. It's currently investigating how the agency operates and what options are available to Canadians who experience issues.
It's something that is becoming pressing when it's 2 years. It may not seem important, but for those people, it is. It's very important.
The CRA would not comment on Pilon's case, citing privacy reasons. In an email, a spokesperson told CBC News the agency is committed to resolving reported incidents.
I feel as a citizen, there's not much we can do.
Pilon has turned to his local MP's office for help. He says he's feeling frustrated and powerless as he waits for the CRA to resolve the problem. Philippe de Montigny, CBC News, Toronto.
The latest employment numbers from StatsCan show the economy added 18,000 jobs in June. The moderate gain helped edge down the unemployment rate to 6.5%. The data shows youth aged 15 to 24 added 33,000 jobs last month. Workers aged 25 to 54 saw similar gains, while older members of the labor market faced losses. Growth was largely concentrated in part-time work, as well as in food, accommodation, and retail sectors. A Canadian soldier who was missing for more than a century has finally been laid to rest. Private Albert Detmold was killed during the First World War, and now remains that were discovered in France more than 5 years ago have finally been identified as his. The CBC's Briar Stewart has more on the story.
At the cemetery in La Saint-Goël in northern France, you have row upon row of headstones marking the sites of graves for Commonwealth soldiers, most of whom died during the First World War. And many of the graves are marked with names and rank, but some of them say, "Here lies a soldier," that's not identified. And we know that after the First World War, several thousand Canadians were listed as missing and presumed dead. The vast majority of those will likely never be identified, but each year across France, dozens of sets of remains are discovered in areas that were once battlefields. And there is a site of a major construction project, a hospital which has been in the works for years, where crews have found more than 120 sets of remains. Among the discoveries there were remains that were eventually identified to be that of Private Albert Detmold. Now, he was originally born in Germany. He immigrated to England and ended up settling on a homestead in Manitoba before he enlisted with the Canadian forces during the First World War. And how researchers identified him was that he was found with several artifacts, and by using military records and what they knew about him, they were able to trace his family and confirm it with DNA.
To think that they've connected the dots, like they said, through DNA, anthropology, history, the whole bit. It's just been amazing to see how the process. Representing the family has just been such an honor, and seeing what everybody has put in effort to identify the remains has been phenomenal.
His interment at the cemetery was unique because it included both the minister and a rabbi.
Detmold grew up in a Jewish family, but when he enlisted with the Canadian Forces, he wrote down that he was Presbyterian. There is some thought that this was deliberate because he was perhaps trying to avoid discrimination, but investigators say there are missing pieces to the puzzle, information that they will likely never know, and that goes the same for all of these cases that they're trying to piece together and all of the remains that they're trying to identify. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Lens-Goël, France.
And welcome back. So this is the fun point of the show where you get to travel around the province and show us what the picture is of the day.
Yeah, that's right. And great ones coming in this week with lots of folks off on vacation. And of course, the weather's been cooperating as well. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. We're going to zoom in. Oh, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't have that. Unfortunately, yes.
We'll save it for another time.
You will save it for another time. Let's quickly look at those highs today. There they are in the low 20s. And then we're going to go to the weather systems map. This is a mystery to me. It looks like I've loaded up my first scene of the show of the day. So yeah, we can still give you a weather update here, but unfortunately no pic. Now, as we look at the setup, a couple of lows moving away, and there's a couple of lows gathering some steam out in the Midwest of the U.S. That is going to be the pair of lows that come in for mid next week, bringing us some unsettled weather. Here's the outlook as we work our way through tonight and into Saturday. Note, lots of sunshine. We will see those isolated shower chances developing across Cape Breton and also across the eastern parts of the mainland. Those are going to be our best shots at seeing an isolated shower for tomorrow, but it does look like they will be few and far between, not looking at a whole lot, which is great. Here's a detailed look for tomorrow. There are your temperatures into the low 20s across Cape Breton. Across interior parts of the mainland, we're looking at as warm as 25, even 26 degrees. It'll be a bit cooler along parts of the coast for tomorrow. 26 to 27 Keji down towards Shelburne. Those will likely be our hot spots. And then as we look quickly into Sunday, temperatures looking very nice as well. Mid-20 temps, a little bit cooler in Cape Breton with an isolated chance for a shower there, 18 to 20. Not looking too bad at all.
Absolutely not. Well, all eyes may be on the World Cup pitch, but some robots in South Korea also got in on the soccer action. Yeah, these humanoid robots hit the field this past week at the Robo Cup. That's the world's largest robotics and AI competition.
The winning team said its goal is to become the FIFA champion of the year 2050.
That's a little spooky, isn't it?
Lots of time to get better, yeah.
That is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend.